Trauma is such a scary word perceived by many. That is why it is hard for the 70% of America that lives with untreated trauma to face it head on. 224 million people have gone through at least one traumatic event, and that is all that it takes to develop lasting trauma or PTSD. Acknowledging and taking care of these types of wounds are just as important as taking care of the physical ones. Today I'm going to inform you on what exactly trauma is, the long-term effects to the brain from untreated trauma, and 3 steps of recognition and healing towards a better life. Trauma is a strong word that is not something people are open to talk about. Why? What is it? According to the American Psychological Association, trauma is an emotional response to horrific events. Shock and denial are typical when the event has subsided. The events are pertaining to extreme violence, emotional harm, sudden loss, etc. There are also different levels of severity: acute, chronic, and complex. A traumatized person can feel a range of emotions both immediately after the event and in the long term. They may feel overwhelmed, helpless, shocked, or have difficulty processing their experiences, and it can also cause physical symptoms. Trauma can affect the brain and bodies in ways we don't even think about. Trauma can have long-term effects on a person's well-being. If symptoms persist and do not decrease in severity, that means that the trauma has developed into a mental health disorder called post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, due to little support after the traumatic event. Depending on a person, the number of symptoms experienced is depicted. Emotional, psychological, and physical responses take place when this is unhealed. Emotional and psychological responses could be anxiety, depression, confusion, anger, and shame. Physical responses could be headaches, high heart rate, digestive issues, and leave you in survival mode. According to the National Library of Medicine, 54% of suicides in people are due to PTSD. Suicide being a high risk for those who have trauma rather than those who do not. In simple terms, first, you need to recognize and regulate the mental state that you are in. Then you need to reintegrate the traumatic event to make it part of your life and your narrative rather than being stored for a different day. Lastly, you need to reconnect with yourself and openness about the event to develop a new sense of self. Taking these steps can lead you into a more positive light about life and little by little improve the way you see yourself and the world. Although it is a long, intrusive process to shake the thinking patterns that comes with these unfortunate events, the outcome is way more worth it than not. Now that you have a better understanding of how to win this internal battle, I hope it has impacted you enough to make a change. If not for yourself, then for others in need. Getting this kind of information about severe problem is the first step to a better place. If you are someone who needed this, then you are not alone. A new beginning is just an acknowledgement away. Thank you.